All right, everyone. Andrew Hefley, your mindset life coach with a better life mindset. So hopefully you can read that all right on the screen. I'll probably end up having to flip this around somehow later on. This is our first live, so it's kind of my first attempt playing with this and setting all this up. We were located in my office from other business, since nothing's really going on today, at least during this first half of the day. We don't need anything opened up for anybody, so we have it locked up, and we're going to utilize our display screen here for today's video and today's presentation. As I mentioned in other posts previously, that today we're going to be talking about thoughts. So what's going on in our thoughts and kind of breaking that down. With that being said, let's just jump right into this and kind of get this thing going. So again, Andrew Hefley, Mindset Life Coach. My business brand and business name is A Better Life Mindset. I want to introduce you to the SAGE principles, which stands for, SAGE is an acronym, stands for Sacred Alignment for Growth Evolution. I do apologize. We have, as you see right here, we have the windows to the front of our store. Obviously, there's a glare, so that's why this is angled the way it is. I will have to end up investing in some kind of shades to put up there if I continue to use this method of delivery. Otherwise, maybe setting it up somewhere else. But we're going to make it through this first one, right? All right, so the SAGE principles. One thing that's really important is I've learned it's always important to be able to add like acronyms or to add like symbolism within your teachings, because it makes it easier to remember these things, remember what we're talking about. And the sage is an ancient title given down through ancient times, which I highly recommend you look into that. But anyways, sages, they were known for different like mysticism, works of magic, quote unquote, and just deep knowledge, philosophical teachings. So I felt like it was really appropriate to use that word for what we're doing here, because it's exactly kind of what we are doing, is we're acting like sages with the philosophical teachings and how we're going into the inner minds of ourselves, and then digging through there, right, and uncovering things that shouldn't be there, removing them, and putting treasures inside of there, and putting gold inside of there. So when I talk about treasures, it's first off, we can uncover gold in our mind when we start digging deep in there. We can uncover things that maybe we forgot about or didn't even realize we had the ability to attain, that's already in there. And you'll learn with my teachings that, nothing really is new under the sun. A lot of what I'm teaching is stuff that I have found, and then I've just packaged it in a way that's kind of fine-tuned specifically for what I teach on and has my own touch on. So anyways, back to the main point though, sage, right? So we are kind of our own sages, and we're going in there and we're working our mind, and we're going to find gold that's in there. We're going to put gold in there, and we're going to get rid of the nonsense. And that's what the Sacred Alignment for Growth Evolution is all about, because that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're taking the sacred alignment, touching base on traditions and teachings throughout history. I'm a Christian, and in the Bible and Word of God, it tells us and shows us ways we can align with God, like through Jesus Christ. Whatever your faith or religion beliefs or religious or spiritual beliefs are, I always encourage you to go into that and to study into those things. And I'm pretty positive you'll see that a lot of it has to do with alignment, whether it's a higher consciousness or just aligning yourself with your creator or whatever your belief system is. You'll find that. Of course, it's different for different religions and faiths and practices, and even if you're into more of a science perspective and not really a God perspective. And I'll never be one to knock you on that. Again, I encourage you to study and practice and look into that and the reasons why you believe in the things you believe. But that's what the sacred alignment's all about. And a lot of the practices and faiths of the world, it's all about aligning yourself with the creator, right? For growth evolution, well, that's what we do here at A Better Life Mindset. We help you evolve your mind for growth, right? It's all about positivity, but more so about actually putting in the work and putting in these principles and teachings to be able to get to that next step of your consciousness. For me, yes, I believe in the spiritual side of it, right? Within my faith, I do believe that's there. I've had those spiritual connections and spiritual moments, right? Experiences. But that growth evolution for your mindset, that is getting you, when I say consciousness, that's just taking your level of understanding to the next level, or excuse me, taking your understanding to another level, like leveling up. You'll see that in the branding where we use it, 'cause that's what it's all about. It's going to that next level in your mindset. And with each level, you'll get more control over yourself, your emotions, subduing those what we call passions in your life. And there's different parts of the brain, which we'll explain in some other teachings. But you have like the reptilian side, which is just like reactive, live, or fight or run, fight or flight side of it. And then you have the side where it's like the creativity, where we're conscious, we know what we're doing, we're going out there and making things happen, we're building, right? So that's that growth mindset, just getting to that next level. All right, so the SAGE principles, sacred alignment for growth, evolution. Now, I mentioned earlier a few moments ago about having symbolism. That like acronyms are great, helps you remember what we're teaching and what we're learning. Symbolism is also something that's been handed down since the beginning of humankind. We've been drawing pictures, pictures on walls, pictures in sand, and that's how we've been communicating different things. Or if we have an idea, we can draw it out. So with that, I have borrowed a symbol, and it's called the symbol of the sage. Now, when you look this symbol up, if you type in the circle with a dot in the middle, you'll find an array of different meanings. It can go back to like how this dot in a circle is a representation of the sun, for like sun worship. This dot by itself represents God, the creator. The dot in the circle can also represent something else entirely, as far as the human and our consciousness and things along those lines. So an array of different meanings, but it's no different than if you had an eagle, right? An eagle can represent one thing back in Roman times, but it can represent the United States today, right? When you think of an eagle, or when I think of an eagle, I think of the United States, right? The double-headed eagle, again, 5,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, it means one thing. Today it means something else, and it also can have a million meanings. It's whatever the beholder wants it to mean, right? Like in today's teaching, or my teachings here, this symbol is a symbol of representation of the sage, which is you and I. The symbol is broken down into three different concepts. So 3 different areas. You have the dot in the middle, you have the circle, and then you have the 2 lines on either side, which breaks into these 3 principles here. Now, again, I know it's kind of hard for you to see because of the angle, so I apologize for that. I wanted to try to get at least as much of the glare off as possible, which is my big head's in the way, so hopefully that helps a little bit. So the dot is a representation of self, right? So you and I are self. That represents us. And then the circle is a representation of our reach of influence. The circle is a reminder that we influence on a daily basis others. Every interaction, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, is a moment we carve in the personal history books of the lives of others. So think about that. So every interaction, good, bad, indifferent, whether we speak to someone or don't speak to someone, if we see somebody, now we are in their influence, right, their circle of influence, and if they see us, they're in our circle of influence. So keep that in mind. And then the lines on each side is what I call the great pillars, which is a representation of our core values. As the circle is squared to measure and balance itself, so too are we to square ourselves to ensure we measure and balance our daily walk with our core principles of belief or core values. And this, like I said, that breaks down the symbolism within this symbol of the sage. Now, looks like I'm doing something here. I'm not sure what I did there. I'm not sure how to take that off of there. Minimize. Okay, sweet. Hitting the wrong buttons here. Okay, so now talking about 3 key areas. These are the 3 key areas that I teach as a mindset life coach for each person that I'm coaching. Whether it's me doing free information like this, posts, whatever it is, it's going to cover one of these 3 areas in our life. These 3 areas make up the self. See, it's all connected to the dot, which is us. Self. We have thoughts, right? Our beliefs and actions. These 3 are key components of what makes up self, makes up who we are. Today we're going to be digging into thoughts. Okay. Now, within the next few weeks and, of course, months, as I continue doing these lives, we'll get into beliefs and actions. But the first place we need to think about is thoughts. This is one of the most powerful things. And the reason behind this, let me just break this down real quick, is our thoughts generate an energy field around us. This field influences and interacts with the world, attracting similar energies and responses. Now, as you see, it may be kind of hard to see on there. Yeah, you can see it. So I got three little people down here, right? And these three people have these little squiggly lines all around them. And this is a representation of energy. Now, in science, you've probably seen the photos or maybe the video on YouTube, perhaps, where it shows like the human body and like there's this energy field, right? Constantly moving around them. And that's the idea with what I was saying here, that our thoughts generate an energy field around us, and that this field influences and interacts with the world, attracting similar energies and responses. The more you study into these things and apply them, the more you'll start to see these around your life, and to see that this is true. There's no falsification here. There's no myth here. I mean, this is factual. We have an energy field around us. Now, let's think about that for a second. With our thoughts, right? Our thoughts are powerful forces that shape our reality. They act like magnets, okay, pulling experiences of people into our lives that resonate with our mental state. For an example here, if you maintain a positive mindset, then you're more likely to end up attracting positive experiences and relationships. Now, I put here, sad, mad, glad. I want you to take a moment and think with me. Let's say you weren't sad, mad, or glad. Let's think of when you saw somebody who was sad. Even if they had a smile on their face, you could feel that energy when you got close to them, right? Just within a few feet, sometimes even just seeing them across the road there. But usually within a distance here, where you're about within 6-7 feet, you felt that they were sad. You could feel the energy from them, right? When they were upset, you could feel that anger, right? When they're happy, you could feel that happiness. Now, likewise, when you're sad, and one of your friends tries to cheer you up, even though you want to get mad at them, don't do that. You still kind of chuckle because their energy is so happy, and you can feel the love that they have for you. They want to see you happy, so they may crack a joke or give you a little tickle or something, or whatever the case is. They put their energy over to you, and they try to transfer that to you, right? And then you might chuckle, even though you're like, "Dude, leave me alone," but you still caught that energy. And we can transfer energy to each other, but we can also take energy from people too. And that's why we talk about don't have energy vampires around you, because they will just use your energy up. Most of the time, there may be people out there that are using a technique to try to pull your energy, right? But when I talk about this with my clients, I don't really talk about there's people out there specifically hunting people's energy, right? So they can become an all-powerful being. That's a little far-fetched out of the realm. The reality of it is that you don't want people who are what we call Debbie Downers in your circle. See, I practice and I preach having a small circle of people. I have a handful of people that's in my circle, and I know a lot of people know me, right? But only so many of them I'm intimate with. And an intimacy is, of course, like something you'd have with your parents, something you'd have with your children. It's that love that you have with them, right? It's you bring them in and you talk about personal matters in your life because you can trust them. So having a small circle of these people who you trust and you love and admire, right? This is very important, because these people are people you're going to have that energy coming from, you're going to be giving to and receiving from. When you have somebody in, it's a Debbie Downer that's in your small circle. Again, small circle is also people who you deal with on a day-to-day basis for the most part. Maybe you're speaking to them on the phone. Someone you consider a friend, right? If you have a Debbie Downer in that circle and they're always depressed and sad or down and out or negative, right? Instead of optimistic, they're pessimistic. Then that's going to drain you from your positive energy, from your good energy. You're going to start becoming that person, and you don't want that. They say there's a saying where it's like, if you want to be successful, you should surround yourself with successful people. If you make $30,000 a year and you want to make 60, then you need to be involved and be more around those people who are making 60,000. Or if you want to make 100,000, 500,000, a million, whatever the case is, you want to get to that next level. Well, you need to start hanging out with those people who are at that next level. Become a mentee and let them be your mentors. But that energy transfer and the knowledge that comes with those relationships, same concept. You can go up or you can go down, and a big part of that is who's inside your circle. And that goes right into these thoughts here about the energy and the forces that are around us, right? The energy of these three people here. If one person, if you have I should have made these color coded, but let's say this one here is green, right? Good positive energy, full of love and life and vibrant. But these two people here are red, and they're negative, and they're down and out. Well, what do you think is going to happen to the green energy, full of that vibrant life and love and playfulness and imagination and exploration? It's going to be drained. So you have to be mindful of that circle. So again, your thoughts and your energy field is a magnet. So you can pull in the positivity or the negativity. Not only that, but you can pull in other people's energy. So think about that. All right, here's the mind's layers. This circle here is a representation of your head. So I can put my big head up there, and that would probably fit. But here's my big head, right? Here's a circle. This is your head. It's a representation. Now, it's not sideways or looking down. It's just a general representation of it. So bear with me, any literalists that are out there watching this. This circle, it's split in half. There's two areas of this. You have a CM and an SCM, and that stands for your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. So we have two areas of our mind, our consciousness, and that's our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. Your conscious mind, immediate awareness, decision-making, reasoning, you're aware of these things. That's what your conscious mind covers. Your subconscious mind, it relates into your automatic responses, right? So your deeply held beliefs, your habits. These are things that you're not aware of, like auto-driving, autopilot when you drive. It's just, you may get from point A to point B, but then you look at it when you're at point B, you're like, how did I even get here? You were daydreaming the entire time, but you were still driving. Muscle memory, right? Habits, things like that gets into your subconscious. And things like deeply held beliefs, which is that we have thoughts, beliefs, and then actions. Well, beliefs plays into your conscious and subconscious, right? Goes into your thoughts. But these deeply held beliefs can come out in your daily habits, your daily activities and how you walk your path each day. We'll get into more of that later. But this all ties into your subconscious. Everything conscious related is going to be things you're aware of. So let's just kind of break that down some more. So your conscious mind, right? We've taken off subconscious, focus on conscious mind now. The characteristics, awareness, so active thoughts, decision-making, and immediate perception. So things that I see someone drive by, I'm aware that I see that. I may even look like, okay, there's a young couple there. They have some kids in the back seat. Probably going over to our neighbors over here who handles children's clothing and accessories. Wonderful second chance store. Phenomenal owner. She's got a great heart, great mind. So, anyways, but when I see that, I'm aware of that, right? So, active thoughts, decision making, right? And immediate perception, decision making. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna take these glasses, put them in the back of my head. I got to write some notes real quick of what I'm going to do today, and I'm making those decisions. I'm very active. I know what's going on. And immediate perception, of course, goes into me seeing what's going on around me. And so, see, active thoughts are things I'm purposely thinking of that I know I'm thinking of. Function. So this handles tasks that require focus and logical reasoning. Right? If I have something in front of me that I know I need to do, like say if we're cleaning a window. Well, I know I have step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, and I'm going to actively see that and know I'm going through those steps accordingly. And that's logical reasoning is behind well, let's think about why I'm doing that. Well, if I start with 1 and clean the frame, then that frame's not dirty, and when I rinse it off, it's not going to go over the window, right? So that's why we do that first. The example would be like choosing what to wear today or planning a daily schedule, like what I was saying, writing down my to-do list. hey, I was conscious of what I was going to put on today. The shirt, I was like, yellow is a good color. This is form fitting. All right, looks good on camera. Hopefully, I feel good and confident about this. Let's wear this. Put this watch on. Put that ring on. You know, I know what I'm doing. I'm making those decisions, and those are conscious. Your conscious mind. All right, mind's layer, subconscious mind. Characteristics, automatic responses like your habits, your deeply ingrained beliefs, and automatic reactions. When children get loud, and there's a lot of noise around me. So one thing that can happen is it's almost like it's I forget the word now. It's not coming to me, but I get like this. There's too much happening in my mind where if I can't hear myself think, I kind of have to snap for a second and say, "Yo, everybody needs to quiet down. We're being way too loud." But it's that automatic where it's like once it hits a certain point, even if I'm zoned in on my work or maybe I'm relaxing watching TV, once all that noise hits a certain level, it's not even a level that I can really explain other than it's so loud I can't even it breaks my conscious thought or my what I'm focusing on. And that automatically says, all right, stop. And it's an automatic response. So, but I've built that up to where that was a habit where I was reacting a certain way at a certain time. And so now subconsciously, once it hits that threshold, it just happens. Now, we get into that in a little bit about how we can fix and alter those habits, those things that changes our reactions. So, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife, they do a certain thing makes you mad, right? Well, there's a reason that one thing makes you mad, and usually you can deep dive and look into your history and find different areas where it was built up to become a pet peeve or built up to become an insecurity, and now you react a certain way when you see or hear or even smell something. It can trigger those things, which it kind of goes into in a second here. But all right, function stores past experiences, right? Emotions and learned behaviors. So everything I just said ties right into that. I think I touched base on all of those things. Past experiences, like when you're dealing with your partner and a certain thing kind of sets you off. Well, usually it's from a past experience that now it's like a learned belief or thought that it affected you a certain way, and so now you react to it a certain way, even though it's a completely different person. Emotions, learned behavior. So emotions, learned behavior is me getting upset when a certain noise happens, causes me to get a little irritated, right? That's those are the emotional. That's one of the emotional sides of it. There's plenty of other examples. And learned behaviors, certain things that we've learned around from our environment. You are a product of your environment, whether you like to say it or not, or believe it or not. It's a fact. That's the truth. No matter what background we have, broken parents or broken home or not, we are a product of that environment. Our minds are sponges. Ever since we were children, we dealt with in the subconscious mind, not the conscious mind as a child. And our entire life, though, we're mind is a sponge. But in the first, say, 10, 12 years, earlier, even more so, we're just taking that stuff in subconsciously. And then we are mirroring everything that we've learned, that we've been kind of programmed into, right? I don't really like that word, actually, program. I don't like that. Basically, we're just mirroring what we've seen. And again, we are a product of our environment. I can dig deeper into that later on. If you're interested in digging deeper in that, put that in the comments. Let me know if you're interested in me digging more into about how we can tap into learning about how we are a product of our environment and maybe finding out areas that you may or may not know or want some clarification on. Let me know about that. So, product of our environment. Put that in the comments. Learning behaviors. Example, so driving a car without consciously thinking about every action or a sudden reaction to a past trauma. So I've already touched base on those. Point A to point B, we're driving, we've daydreamed the entire way. We get to point B, we're like, holy crap, I already got here. Where'd the time go? I don't even remember the drive, right? That's because it's a habitual thing. What we're doing is so much ingrained to us. We already know, oh, we got to go this way, go that way, blinker, whatever. Hopefully you got some blinkers. Hey, if you don't use your blinker, I'm not going to ask you to admit to that, but please use your blinker, folks, in with due time. None of this 10 seconds boom or a 10 feet boom turning, and I turn the blinker on as I turn the wheel. Who wants to admit to that? Put it in the comments. If you will admit to that, we can have a good laugh out of it, and we can focus on something for you to work on. When you turn your blinker on, it's when you're doing this number, right? Or if you turn it and you're doing that number, not clicking it and then waiting until you get to it and then getting there. My girlfriend, I got to call her out. She's getting better, but she was pretty bad at that in the beginning. Okay, that's the subconscious mind. Now I want to talk about interaction between conscious and subconscious minds, how they work together. Conscious mind influence. The conscious mind often influences the subconscious by forming new habits or changing beliefs through repetitive thought patterns and experiences. The subconscious mind influence. The subconscious mind can drive behavior and decisions based on past experience and beliefs, even if we are not actively aware of it. So this is where we talk about breaking down these, how we can interact with these. So the subconscious mind can play on our conscious mind, play on our daily life, influencing it, right? But so can the conscious mind. We can learn and put in practices on how to have more control of the subconscious mind by using our conscious mind and creating new habits and implementing different techniques into putting thoughts and new patterns and habits into our subconscious so that we do that on autopilot. We're autopiloting how we walk in our life. That takes work, but that's why you're here, I hope. All right, let me get a drink here and we'll talk about examples of subconscious influence on behavior. All right, habits. Subconscious mind governs automatic behaviors like smoking, overeating, and nail biting. My brother has a habit of nail biting. He doesn't really have it now because he's worked on it. But again, keywords are worked on it, right? He used to be really bad that when he would just sit there think about something, he'd be nervous. He'd be just like a little beaver on the end of his fingertips. And he hated that. He didn't like that. He wasn't okay with that. He wanted to change it. But change doesn't happen overnight. Like with my clients, when we do coaching one-on-one, the minimum is 6 months. I say, look, we've got to do a 6-month coaching because we have to cover thoughts, beliefs, and action. And it's going to take time to really deep dive into all these areas and then uncover things. And then not only uncover, but then transform those thoughts, transform those self-limiting beliefs, and then take massive action, right? So what I do, those 6 months, you have 2 months for each section, 2 months on thoughts, 2 months on your beliefs, and 2 months of action. So the first month might be uncovering and bringing that stuff to the surface. The second month inside of thoughts would be replacing negative with good. And then we repeat that in the next 2. So from thoughts, 2 months on that. Beliefs, 2 months. First month, we're uncovering and digging deep, trying to figure out the problem areas. The second month of beliefs is implementing new strategies and positive self-beliefs. And like I said, implementing those things. And then the last 2 months, basically in action, is, of course, we're digging in the first month, really trying to figure out where the problem areas are with action and why we're having issues with that. But that usually doesn't take the full month because a lot of the issues there were uncovered from these first two, the thoughts and beliefs. And that really most of those 2 months in action is accountability, of course, for all of it, but especially in action, taking action and implementing everything we've learned. So my brother, who's my best friend, mind you, but we've been through so much, we consider each other brothers. He has the nail biting issue. Well, he had to, every time he would do it, he would, of course, subconsciously be doing it, so he wouldn't be realizing because he'd be an autopilot, right? See how I stare off while I'm still interacting? So it's try to give you the idea that I'm on autopilot and I'm doing something out of habit. So he would be on autopilot biting his nails. And as he would be biting them, he would slowly come into consciousness of, oh, wait a minute, I'm biting my nails, and he'd stop. So I'll draw a picture one day, but it's kind of like when we get mad, and we don't want to get mad at something, right? Whatever that something is, but there's one thing that gets us mad. Let's say it's, oh shoot, I don't know, would be a good example. Children, if you're a parent, you have children. So let's say my kid does this one thing, and I get mad, I blow up. Okay, well, I don't want to get mad and blow up. I'm going to be a good parent. So there's this like line of consciousness that happens where it's like, boom, we just go straight there, and we mess up, we make the mistake, and it's after we've made the mistake that we realize what we did and we feel bad for it. Kind of like his nail biting. And then what happens is that when we consciously tell ourselves over and over and over again, not just in one day, but over several days and several weeks, we want to stop this from happening. then we start to catch it earlier in that line. I hope that makes sense. So here we are before we do the thing we don't want to do. Here we are after we've done it, and now we feel bad about it, and we're reflecting. Well, as we continue over days and weeks, and even months, depending on what it is, we start to bring that back when we realize what we did or what we're doing. And so maybe in the moment of getting mad, instead of after we get mad at our child or after we've bitten our nails off, we are starting to realize it as we're getting mad or as we're starting to bite into the nail. Then there's those. See, now our habits of staying on top of what we want to do and talking to ourselves and working on it is starting to put that from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind. So that way, when we're doing something subconsciously, we'll be able to consciously know about it earlier. Hope that makes sense. And that's that path of doing it where we've done it subconsciously to consciously. So now we're going down earlier, consciously becoming aware of it more in that subconscious path, right, of doing that thing. To the point of, we'll get to here, that when our child is doing that thing that used to make us mad and we just snap and then we regret it later, we are now realizing they're doing this. I'm going to stay calm, and this is how I'm going to react to it. Hey, this is where I would bite my nails, but I'm going to stay calm, and I'm going to think through it. And I'm going to save my nails, and I'm going to save this wonderful child's mind from being a product of their environment, thinking it's okay to just blow up, right? All right. So hopefully that was a good, nice deep dive into that area and how we can, how the influence of behavior happens and that line of influence there. Actually, that kind of makes sense having that line there, don't it, in a way? All right. Let's see. Habits governs automatic behaviors. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss on the past experience. Unresolved issues can lead to automatic emotional responses to certain triggers. That's like yelling at the kid, right, or child. Past experiences, unresolved issues can lead to automatic emotional responses to certain triggers. Your partner does something that an ex did, and it caused you some kind of pain, unresolved issues, right? Past experiences, and now you react to it a certain way, even though like it may not have anything to do. It may not even be the same thing and may not even lead to the same area that your previous one did, but we react to it the same way because it's unresolved, and it's not them, it's us. And that's where we really have to focus. And that's really a hard pill to swallow for a lot of us, even for me in the past, and still at times with some things, because there's still stuff I'm working on, ever evolving that growth mindset, right? Beliefs, core beliefs about self-worth or capabilities can shape our actions and attitudes, often without conscious awareness. I have to go through this pretty quick because there's a lot, and we're already at 33 minutes roughly on this recording. Important is understanding these concepts. Self-awareness, recognizing how subconscious thoughts affect behavior, can help in personal growth and self-improvement. Behavior change, understanding these layers, can aid in altering unhelpful habits and beliefs by addressing subconscious influences. So again, that's talking about taking those moments and changing the behaviors, kind of what I've already touched base on. Key takeaways for this: conscious mind, active, immediate awareness and decision-making; subconscious mind, automatic responses and deeply held beliefs influencing behavior; interaction, both layers interact and influence each other, affecting overall behavior and reactions. That's what I was saying earlier. Your conscious mind can control your subconscious mind to some extent. Let me rephrase that. It can influence it. And that's the goal. With my coaching, what I do with my clients is when we go through each three, that's what we're trying to deep dive into. What we're deep diving into is your subconscious mind. What is affecting you in your thought patterns that's affecting your daily life out there with your family, your friends, your loved ones, your workers, at work, whatever the case is. What is it subconsciously that's affecting you and your thoughts, in your beliefs, in your actions? And then we root that up to your conscious so we can be consciously aware of it, so we can consciously correct it and put in new habits so we can replace that dirt and crap and nonsense out with gold, right? Like I mentioned in the beginning of this, we can replace it with gold. Stuff that's going to affect us positively and give back to us positively. It has a great ROI, return on investment. But we have to do that consciously. We have to consciously do that. And that takes a lot of work and effort. And again, like I said, 6 months. I do have a beta test package coming out. I'm not trying to solicit you guys or anything, but it is important that I have to bring it up to you because if you want to do something with coaching, for instance, how are you going to know about it if I don't tell you about it? So again, not soliciting you, but definitely letting you know about it. We have a new coaching program I'm putting together that covers those 6 months. And I'm bringing, I don't know if I'm going to do 5 or 10 people. I might do 10, but I'm definitely not doing more than that. But I'm bringing on, now this is paid, of course, but for 90 days, we're gonna do a really quick version of my 6 month program, and it is super lean. That's why I'm only taking a handful of people because of the fact, or maybe 2 handfuls of people, because of the fact that they have to be super dedicated during these 90 days. Right? It's not as it's never really laxed, but the 6 months, it's 6 months of your life. So of course there's life happening, and there's time for that. These 90 days, it's very much so we are working and getting with it, and you want change. We need it now, kind of thing. So 1 month, we're doing thoughts, 2nd month, belief, 3rd month, action, and then boom, that's what it is. So anyways, if you're interested, let me know. But we really deep dive into all of this and jump into that. So go into that conscious, deep dive into subconscious, bring that to the conscious, and then implement tools and habits so we can influence the subconscious to then influence our conscious life and our conscious walk subconsciously. Oh, goodness, that's funny. All right, now I have a 6-day assignment plan. Take one more drink here. I thought there was a lot more to this, but there is. But I thought we were behind with my time. We're actually doing pretty good on time. Okay, so 6-day assignment plan. It's not 7 days because 7 days from today, we're going to be back doing a live. So 6-day assignment plan, exploring your mind layers. The objective of this is to begin to identify and understand your own conscious and subconscious mind to prepare for deeper work in the following week. Look, if you're not here because you want to learn about your mind and your mindset and then create a better life mindset, right? Yes, obviously, that's my brand. Well, here it is. But that's literally what we're doing is creating a better life mindset for ourselves, which then, of course, remember our sphere of influence, our circle of influence, our family, our friends, our loved ones. When we better ourselves and create a better life mindset for ourselves, we're creating a better experience for people around us. When we bring ourselves up, we bring people around us up automatically. At least I hope so. That's what I'm doing here. I bettered myself. Now I want to bring other people up with me. Amen? Okay. You have to be able to do this. If you're not willing to put in work, then why are you in this community? Hey, I'm going to be pretty blunt with you here. If you're not watching these videos, you're not putting in this work and effort, then you shouldn't be here. It's as simple as that. This isn't one of those things where I'm requiring you to be super active, but why are you here? If you actually, part of me being a coach is I got to be real with you, right? Hustle, hustle, hustle. That's hello, coach. I won't ever be mean or disrespectful, but I'm going to hold you accountable. And this is completely free, naturally, but I'm still going to hold you accountable. You're still dealing with me. The people who pay me to do this, right? These are still things I teach. So I'm still going to be the same way with you as I am going to be with them. Maybe a little more with them because they're paying. But the point of it is if you're here, then you need to realize something. You're taking the time to be here. You're taking the time to learn these things, especially if you already spent almost 40 minutes. I'm pointing this way because that's where the timer is on my phone. Almost 40 minutes learning about all this stuff. You've wasted your time if you're not going to implement any of it. You're wasting all of your time if you're not implementing any of the stuff that I teach on. So you need to really have that coming to God moment, as I call it, where you sit down and you say, do I really want a better life for myself and a better life mindset for myself? And if so, then I need to put some action to it. Remember, I say I'm a man who talks the talk, but also has walked the walk and walks the walk, right? It's a two-way street. You have to be able to do both. And we're going the same way on both streets. All right, so here's the assignment. Day 1, Introduction to Mindfulness and Self-Reflection. Your assignment is to read an introductory article or chapter on mindfulness and self-reflection. Anything you want. I don't care if you buy one of my books. I don't care if you go on Google and you type something in. Just read an introductory article or a chapter on mindfulness and self-reflection. So it breaks down, what it is and tells you about what it is. Exercise. Start a mindfulness practice with a 10 to 15 meditation session. If you put a timer on your phone and you close your eyes and you're sitting upright on your floor, laying on your bed, whatever, and you just kind of zone out and you meditate, that 10 to 15 minutes is going to go by super fast. I do not recommend you put 5 minutes. I recommend you put 10 or more, because the 5 minutes is going to go by super fast, way too fast to really get anything out of it. I like to put 20 minutes on whenever I do mine, because I feel like I'm really actually getting into the areas that I want to. But that's your exercise. Start a mindfulness practice with a 10 to 15 minute meditation session. Remember, you're reading an article first about what mindfulness really is and self-reflection. You're implementing that within your meditation. And then journal. Reflect on your initial experiences with mindfulness and any immediate observations during that time. I recommend you get a journal. You can get them, I think, like $1.50 at Walmart. Maybe up more, depending on if you want to go a little nicer. But do that and put your day and then write the experience of this, because, again, we're going to reflect on this later. Day 2, identifying conscious thoughts. The assignment, exercise, observe and record your thoughts throughout the day using a journal or note-taking app. Your focus is to identify recurring thoughts or patterns related to decision-making. And in your journal, you will summarize your observations and note any recurring themes. Very important to do this. My clients, we use this, right? We use all this stuff. So you need to do this so you can use this and look back at your previous days. Date and learn from them. Day 3, exploring subconscious influence. So your assignment here on day 3 is your exercise to reflect on automatic behaviors or habitual reactions. Identify any underlying beliefs or past experiences influencing these behaviors. This is going to be a little challenging, but be open to yourself. Sometimes the first thought that comes out, I can pull from here because it's like a gut feeling sometimes. Sometimes that first thing is it. And when it feels right, and you have this like feeling you can't explain on an idea or a thought, then more times than not, that's the correct one. So write that down. And then write about these behaviors and the possible subconscious factors at play. Day 4, dream analysis. This is fun because I usually have a lot of dreams for the most part, so I really enjoy this part of it. If you're someone that just doesn't have dreams, it's okay. Just keep this in mind. And when you wake up, dedicate. Of course, this takes, like anything, having subconscious, conscious, it takes effort. And it can be challenging at first, but keep applying the effort. What I mean by that is if you wake up and you're obviously tired and it's hard to transition over to write stuff down, keep it by, even on the floor, I don't care, wherever that's right next to your bed, so you can easily or simply write down your thoughts or your dreams, right? But anyways, keep a dream journal. Record any details you remember from your dreams as soon as you wake up. Sometimes I can put like highlighted notes. I don't have to tell the whole story because I'm a detailed person, as you've probably seen. And I'll like explain everything out. Excuse me. But with my dreams, there's times where I haven't done that because I am so tired, but I don't want to forget it. So if I just put main highlight areas of the dream that I remember, then it'll help me recall the entire dream that day. Whenever I finally wake up and I can re-look at my notes, it jogs that memory back. Now, you want to focus, so look for recurring themes or symbols in your dreams. If you see something over and over again in your dreams, obviously this is a day 4, but this is from the moment you watch this until day 6 and beyond, the rest of your life. Keep that in mind. Reflect on any patterns or insights from your dream journal and their potential relation to your subconscious. Did I read that right? Yeah, subconscious. Okay. Day 5, self-reflections and mindfulness. So this assignment, your exercise is to conduct a self-reflection exercise on a recent significant event or decision. Analyze your thought process and emotional response. This is going to take, like I said, this isn't easy stuff. I don't teach, just think positive, right? Think positive. Well, if you're dealing with depression and crippling anxiety, that's great. Like, yeah, we want to think positive, right? And I've dealt with both of those things. I still deal with anxiety sometimes. Not so much depression anymore, thank God. Just anxiety a little bit. But again, that goes to like my gut health. Why I have such a lean diet? Because my diet kind of has interacted or causes my anxiety in most cases. Sometimes just because I'm too tired and I'm trying to do too much, but more times it's connected. Your brain, gut, health, that's all connected together. Anyways, my point is analyzing those thoughts. Going back to that, depression or anxiety. Yeah, we want to think positive. I'm never going to tell you, oh, just think positive. Like, that's not what we're doing here at A Better Life Mindset. As you can see, we're deep diving. We're doing the hard work. This is why I said it's so important that if you're here to do this, or if you're here, then do these things. Like, show up, right? Show up, because otherwise you're wasting your time. You're wasting other people's time. Show up when you're ready to show up. If you're not ready yet, that's fine. Show up when you're ready. What I mean by being ready is when you actually are just so tired of dealing with not having the life you want to have, the mindset you want to have, that you're going to finally just do something. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to make it really simple for you. I'm breaking it down, giving you the free trainings. So this is going to take work. I'm never going to say, oh, just think positive, John. Think positive, Tracy. Think positive, Susan. Think positive. Like, that's not what we do here at Better Life Mindset. We actually deep dive and do the hard work, because that's what it's going to take to change your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, work them together to have what you want in this life. All right. So I'm going to reread that. Conduct a self-reflection exercise on a recent significant event or decision. Analyze your thought process and emotional response. Your mindfulness practice. Engage in a 20-minute mindfulness meditation session focusing on this area. And your journal. Document your self-reflection and any new insights gained from mindfulness. Okay. Day 6. Summary and reflection. It's as simple as that. Your exercise is to review your journal entries from the past 5 days. Look for patterns and recurring themes. And then in your journal, you want to summarize your findings and reflect on your understanding of your conscious and subconscious mind. Note any questions or areas for further exploration. This is very important. You want to note any questions you have or areas for further explanation, because on day 7, when we come back to do this live, then I would like to see more of you on here. It's okay. I don't think anybody came on here, and that's fine. But I'd like to see you on here and us be able to talk about that and expand on that, because there's more to thoughts. Obviously, it takes me 2 months to get through that with a client, so there's a lot more thoughts we can deep dive in and discuss. And then naturally on day 6, something else I want to throw at you is that night at day 6, no matter how late it is, I want you to put it into our community, and I want you to put it into the Level Up chat, and just write, thoughts, reflection, or day 6 thoughts, and just title it Day 6 Thoughts, Reflection, Summary and Reflection. That'll work. And then put in there your notes, your everything you came around. Summarize your findings, reflect on your understanding of your conscious, subconscious mind, and then in there in the bottom, note your questions or areas for further exploration, and then I'll review those. I may not be able to get to it right then, but I'm going to be reviewing those and then responding to those individually, as well as any of that gets on there. We can go on here, and I can tie that into our live next week. All right, submission. Okay, at the end of day 6, sorry, I forgot this slide. Deliverable at the end of the day 6, submit a summary report that includes key observations about your conscious thoughts, insights into subconscious influences, reflections on how mindfulness and self-reflection have contributed to your understanding, any questions or areas for further exploration. So, and my apologies, this is the submission side of it. But take this, put that in there, just put it into the Level Up chat. That's what we're doing. We're leveling up, and that'll work perfectly fine. All right, so that's it. I appreciate all of your time. It's been a pleasure to be able to present this to you. Again, I apologize for getting on here so late in the day. But hey, got to deal with your mental well-being and your physical well-being first. I'll never knock anyone for that. Hope you never knock me for that. We still came and we delivered, right? Progress over perfection. We got it done. So something I was struggling with was, hey, I don't even know if I want to do this because it's so late. Keep pushing it. Probably no one's going to show up. You didn't see nobody come in. But guess what? This is being recorded, and I committed to this. So you are keeping me accountable, because I know, hey, we got people out there that need to watch this and need to have this, and this will obviously be edited and edited out and different areas and put on probably our YouTube channel. But this is what I'm here. I'm showing up, and I'm showing out, baby. And if I can't do it, then how can I? If I won't do it, then how can I ask you to do it? So you're helping me stay accountable, and thus I'm helping you stay accountable. So again, appreciate your time. It's been a pleasure to be able to be of service here today on this video. Hope you got something great out of it. Give me a highlight of today's video in the comments. Tell me what you got working on, any questions you may have, whatever you want to highlight, just put it in the comments. I'll be happy to jump on there as soon as I can and get with y'all. Much love to you. Have a wonderful day and a blessed day. Thank you all, and here's to creating a better life mindset.